very difficult today. So let's start with this lesson. I have here some examples of, wait a minute, I will share the screen. And let's start. We will analyze the structure and I will explain grammar. We will talk about dangling modifiers and the use of the fact that very difficult words in English. Okay, so
Okay.
let's start here. So this is a common question for this exam. Okay, and what you are supposed to do when it comes to taking this exam is read the extras, well, read the answers before, do whatever you want. So read sentences A, B, C, or D. Okay.
Okay.
So now let's analyze. Okay, please, can you read this exercise, please?
Yes. The sense of elitism in the art world is deepened by the fact that the determination of the authenticity of long lost works of reputed Renaissance era painters such as Da Vinci is usually not possible by just scientific analysis and forensics, but need the expert eye of the connoisseur,
Okay. So
connoisseurs.
well, at first sight, sometimes or once in a while, it's really difficult to grasp the idea. Okay, it's really
Yes,
hard to understand. What is the
yes.
main point, or what is the what are we supposed to do in this exercise? Choose the best option, okay, for this
Mhm.
underlined sentence. So let's
Okay.
analyze the first one. It says painters such as, painters like that, painters such as, painters like, painters such as. So it
Mhm.
means that which one is correct, like or
Yes,
such as. So
yes.
what you're supposed to do here is how do we use such and how do we use like? Okay?
Okay,
Do you know
okay.
the difference between like and such?
Yes, like is used when you compare, and such as is used to give examples.
Such as is when you list, when you give examples. That's true. In this part, for example, we have the word painters, painters, painters. So do you want to compare or do you want to give an instance? You want to give an example when you say Renaissance era, painters like Da Vinci or such as Da Vinci. What are you doing here? Are you comparing or you just want to give an instance?
I think we want to give an instance.
That's true. So you have here such as, like, such as, like, such as. So this is not correct because we have like and we don't want to compare. Did you understand that part? So we can drop letter D
Yes,
too because we're
yes.
using like. Okay. Any
Okay.
questions up to this point?
No, teacher.
Okay. Now let's focus on this part. As you see here, now we have a verb subject agreement. We have is, are.
Mhm.
Okay. Did you understand? Okay, so now it says painters such as Da Vinci is, painters such as Da Vinci are. So what is the subject? So we don't know, so we need to read the previous sentence. It says, by the fact that the determination of the authenticity of long lost work of reputed Renaissance. What is the subject?
Determination.
The determination of blah 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 painters such as. So this is the subject, the determination of the authenticity. So which verb be belongs to this subject?
Is.
Is, of course. So the answer is so we drop this and we drop that part. Okay, so we have here is and is. Okay, do
Okay,
you agree with
okay.
me?
Yes.
Yep, nice. So then we have here but need and needs. Needs. So what am I supposed to do here? We have need, needs, needs, needness. Which one is correct? Again, what do we need to do here? What do you analyze after that?
Mm,
Just when you like encounter this kind of exercise, you say the determination of la 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 la, and then but need. But what do we
mm,
need? The determination. You see?
okay.
So the determination again needs. So this is where we have needs here. So letter A
Uh-huh.
is not correct because the subject is a determination of the authenticity. The following words are just complement, okay? They
Mhm.
just give extra information, but they are not the real subject. For example, you say, the goal of my dreams or of my family is, okay, will
Mhm.
be, because this is the subject. Everything after of is not the subject.
Yes.
Everything,
Okay.
whatever goes after that of is not the subject. So the answer is letter C.
Okay.
Okay, do you want to
Okay.
analyze any other part? There are four things or three things we study here. No questions?
Mm, well, here this part is testing then subject verb agreement.
Not
As
only
we
just yes, subject verb agreement. There are
yes.
two, but not also not only subject verb agreement, but also like and such. Okay,
Yes.
sometimes when
Yes.
we speak in English we say something like, I really like my favorite music is rock, like, and then you just give an example, and this is not
Mhm.
correct. You are supposed to say such
Yes.
as,
Yes.
okay,
Okay.
or
Yes.
I want to play sports, I want to play sports like soccer. That's not correct, because you just want to give an instance or instances. So you're supposed to say, I like sports such as soccer. In proper
Okay.
English, we don't use like. Another way to use like is when you, for example, you say, I work like a doctor. I work like
Mhm.
a doctor, but I'm not a real doctor. You see?
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
a real doctor. Or you say, I work as a teacher because I am a real teacher, so I can use as in this case.
Yes. The function of the
The function.
person.
There are two ways to use like
Yes.
and such, okay?
Yes.
Especially
Okay.
for advanced texts like this. They don't make mistakes, like, I don't know how to say this, that has to do with such and like basic mistakes. They don't make mistakes.
Okay. Okay.
And and then I just like thinking about this because there was a book and I read about this. Is that correct to use more than three preposition in the same sentence, like the determination of the authenticity of love's work of reputed Renaissance era painter? Okay, so
Mhm.
remember that nobody has said that it is correct or it is not correct to use more than three or four same prepositions. You see, it doesn't
Okay.
matter. Okay, it doesn't
Okay.
matter. You can use five if you want. Okay,
Okay.
it
Okay.
doesn't matter. But some people say no, you can use more than three or four preposition because it's not correct. But that's not true. That's not true. It's not common, but
Mhm.
it doesn't mean that it's incorrect. You see, is when you, for example, when you talk about adjectives, you say we always use at least three adjectives. More than three is incorrect. No, it
Mhm.
is not incorrect. Um, Sometimes we don't speak in that way, but we see grammar like this in books
Yes.
or in literature. You see
Yes.
what I'm
Yes, please.
saying? Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So the number of preposition, no consequence to the correctness of the sentence. It doesn't matter how many prepositions you have. And this is another important point I would like to mention. Look at this. You have not, and then you have but also. Not
Yes.
and but also. And when you say no, Carlos, this is not correct because we have not only but also.
Mhm.
Not only but also. But let me tell you something. We have not just but also. Not only but also, not
Ah.
just but also.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
are the same structures, okay?
Mm.
They are
Yeah.
the same structures. Do you want me to explain a little bit more about not only but also?
Yes, please.
Okay. I have here, I will write it, I guess. One second. My whiteboard is loaded. Okay, dokie. Can you see my whiteboard?
Not yet.
Oh, really? Wait a minute. Yep, now.
Yes. Now I can see it.
Okay, so have you ever used not only but also?
Yes, I have.
When do we use not only but also?
When we want to talk about two things. when we want to emphasize something, two things that have the same importance.
For example, I can say, you are not only beautiful, but also intelligent. So not only adjective, but
Mhm.
also adjective. I will write
Yes,
that part here, okay?
yes, the
No,
parallelism.
not only adjective, but also adjective.
Yes.
But this is not the only one because we can also use with maybe adverbs. Adverbs.
Mhm.
For example, I can speak English. I'm sorry, English not only fluently but also well. You see,
Yes.
so you can use adverbs. You can use adverbs. You can also use with maybe nouns. I speak not only English but also French. I speak not only English but also French. We can say maybe, for example, after the subject, I I play not only soccer but also basketball. Can be I play not only or I not only would be I not only play soccer but also play basketball. Did you understand that part? Of course,
Yes.
the. I not only play soccer, but I also swim. Swim once in a while.
Mm. In this case, could it be not not only do I play soccer, but
Not
also?
only do I, yes, inversion. You can say not only do I, but also. The inversion goes in the first part of the sentence. For example, I not only play soccer, but also swim once in a while. Not only do I play soccer, but also swim once in a while.
Okay.
Okay, that would be a bit too structure. That would be a bit too structure, you see? And
Okay.
that's all. You can also change not only, but you can also say not just. Not just, but also. Not just, but also. Okay?
And not
Just.
then, okay, because
It
in the
is the
sense,
same. Yeah, you can change this. Not just adjective, but also.
okay, okay.
But you never say but. No, that's not correct. If you say not just or not only,
Hmm.
but also, all the time, but also.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so when I was checking this exercise, for example, where is it? And here you say not incorrect because we need not only or not just. Not
Yes,
not and then but also
yes.
not, but look at this, not just,
Uh-huh.
not just. This is just when you want to emphasize, okay? You add
Okay,
extra information, but it doesn't maybe interfere with the message. I can get across the message. I can understand the message well, okay?
okay.
So not only, but also, not just, but also, okay?
Mhm. Okay.
Let's continue. Next part. And look at this, not only but also, not just but also, parallelism in the verbs. Why do you say parallelism? Because, for example, when I say, look at this part, it says, da 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 da, where's not only? Okay, not, I mean, the determination of the authenticity, not just, la la la, but also need, you see, but also
Yes.
needs, because what is the subject? The determination. So we see but the determination, but also, I'm sorry, not only but also needs, but also needs. So this is why the answer is correct here, letter C.
Okay.
Did you understand that part?
Yes, teacher, I understood.
Okay, for example, and when you make a sentence in the past, I not only play soccer, but also, she not only plays soccer, but also cooks, cooks. You see, she and she. This is why in this
Yes.
part we need needs because the subject is need an XPI. Who or what needs an XPI? The determination of the authenticity of a law and less work. You see?
Yes, yes.
That's correct. So now we're done with the first one. Okay, the
Okay,
first one.
teacher.
It takes time. It takes time.
Yes.
And next part. Okay, I just wrote some exercises here, and I love this word. Re, renaissances. You see, this is the schwa. It's a long era in the past in the period in Europe. Okay, a very advanced word, C2 word. Okay,
Okay.
let's
Okay.
continue. Next part. Okay, oh, this one. Given that Agatha Christie wrote 66 novels, 14 short story collections, all of which are still in pretty multiple formats and dozens of languages, skeptics would be well advised to admit defeat on the issue of whether or not she sold more. She sold more books than any other novelist ever has. Now, another tricky structure. But now,
Yes.
in this exam, you just not only focus on grammar but also on the meaning of the message.
Hmm.
Okay, as you can see here, I use a lot, not only but also, because it's a pretty common structure, not just and but also. But now
Yeah.
look at this. You need to understand how to use the word advice. Do you know how to use the word advised?
I think it's as by advice doing something,
Advice doing something. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that could be advice doing something.
or
Uh,
advise somebody
to do something.
to do something.
Both are correct, to be honest. Both are correct. This is called subjunction because we have, for example, I suggest doing something. I recommend doing something. I advise doing something, but for me, it's more common to say advise somebody to do something. Okay?
Yeah.
Advise somebody
Okay.
to do something. Now, look at this. We analyze the sentence first before we go here. We have admit defeat, be defeated, admit defeat, admit defeated, be defeated. So let's try, okay? It
Okay.
says, sec tips would be well advised to admit defeat. So you advise somebody to admit defeat. Is that correct? Does it make sense for you?
Let me think. Advice to admit defeat. Except this would be well advised to. Yes, I think it's correct.
Grammatically, it is correct, I mean, but it doesn't make sense because you never say, I suggest maybe giving up. That's not true. Okay, you never say that according to the text because Agatha Christie wrote 66 novel and 14 short stories collection. Okay, she wrote those, and all of which are still in print in multiple formats and dozens of languages. So it
Mm-hmm.
means that the books are pretty famous, you know. And then
Mm-hmm.
executives would well advise to admit defeat on the issue of whether or not she sold more books than any other novelist ever has. For me, for example, you never suggest somebody or you never advise somebody to give up. That's not correct. Okay,
The
so it's
meaning
the
is important.
meaning. The meaning
Okay.
is important, not only just the grammar. Because you say, "I advise you to be defeated." I advise
Uh,
you to be defeated.
mm,
So we have admit
mhm,
defeat, so we can drop the sentence. Advised, be defeated, incorrect, be defeated, incorrect. So we have admit defeat, admit defeat, admit defeat. On the issue of whether, aha. But we have here whether not, whether she, and
mm,
whether not. Do you know how to use whether or not?
mm. Yes,
Make a sentence.
um, I don't know whether to go to the beach or to go to the park. Park.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. But analyze this structure. I will go to the party or I will go to the park whether or not it rains. What do you think?
Ah,
I will go to the park whether or not it rains. What do you think? What does it mean? Whether.
it doesn't matter if it rains or not. I will go anyway.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So you say something like that. We will go to the game whether or not it rains. I will go to the party whether or not you want. You see? But in
Okay.
this case, whether or not, yeah, is that this is also correct. Whether she, okay? For
Okay.
example, listen to me. You say, I wonder
Mm-hmm.
if I wonder if the story was true or not. And I wonder whether the story was true or not. You see? I wonder if the story was true or not, or I wonder if the story, whether the story was true or not. In this case, we don't have that part, okay? We don't have here. She's all, no, 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 no. Then any other, whether or not, what do you think? What do you
Mm.
think? We know how to use whether or not, okay? Now
Yes, yes.
let's go with the meaning. Let's go. Executives would be well advised to okay, I'm sorry, to okay, to you admit defeat on the issue of whether or not she sold more books. It means so it doesn't matter if she sold more books.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say, hey, give up, I say give up, but you say um you give up even if she doesn't sell books.
Yes,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
understand.
Again,
Okay.
that part is hard to understand because it says
Yes.
you advise, maybe executives advise people or the person to
Mm-hmm.
admit defeat on the issue of whether or not. Okay,
Mm.
so I say, hey, give up. It doesn't matter if she sell more books or not.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay, this is the
Yes.
structure. This is the structure. So does it make sense for you? Do you say, oh, give up? It doesn't matter if she sells more books or not. Does it make sense for you?
No, no.
It doesn't make sense. You
Mm.
say, hey, give up in a different situation. Okay.
Yeah.
But whether or not, this is not the case in this part.
Okay.
The
I
meaning.
understood. Okay.
You got it. The meaning. So now we have letter C, the meet defeat on the issue of whether she sold more books than any other novelist ever has. So now we can also analyze this part. Has, did, and has. As you can see here, for example, in letter D, we don't have like a verb. We don't
Mm.
have a verb, but here we have has, did, has. Okay?
Yes.
And you might say, Carlos, why did you choose has? Why not maybe did?
Mm. Because it comes from the uh,
An action that started in the past
in the
because she
past.
sold the books and now they are printing the books in multiple formats. So it's an action that started in the past and continues up to the present. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
So then, for example, it's a defeat on the issue of whether she sold more books than any other novelist have or has
Mm.
ever sold.
Yes.
Okay, and
Yes.
remember that maybe sometimes when we have the same subject, when we have the same verb, sorry, the same verb, we can omit. So this is why in this part we omit the subject in letter D. We omit the subject. I mean, we omit the verb because it is the same.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
and this part you don't say. You can write. You can say any other novelist has sold, but we have sold here, and we have sold here. It is redundant. It is, for
Okay.
example, you say, I will speak even more fluently than you will ever speak. No, that you will do. I don't
Okay.
repeat the verb because it is redundant. I can run as quickly as you run. I can run as quickly as you run. No, I can run as quickly as you do.
As you
I
do.
can run as quickly as she
The
runs, as she does.
does.
Okay, so
Yes.
in this case, we can say did or has. But what was the problem? That she's saying that she sold books. I mean, she in the past and in the present,
Mm-hmm.
in which tense connects the past and the present, present perfect. This is why
Present
we choose
perfect.
the answer. Okay,
Okay.
so I
Wow.
have another example. The vacancy is open to everyone, irrespective of experience. Irrespective of experience is whether or not is another way. is another way to say that, irrespective of.
Okay.
Next part. And okay, this is, we can this. Okay, this occupying a small portion of the island of Borneo, the tiny country of Brunei, Jerusalem, had been having a low number of international visitors until 2017, when the numbers attracted by its famously pristine rainforest increased by 20%. To be honest, here it's not about the grammar; it is about the meaning. What do you think? What's your answer for you?
I think yes, we have to find this
Let's
the
wait.
subject
Let's
that is
analyze the subject. Who is
uh,
occupying or that is occupying? It
yes,
says
who is occupying?
the
Yes.
tiny country, the number of international visitors, the tiny country, the tiny country, the international tourists visiting. So my question is, who is occupying a small portion of the island of Borneo?
Mm,
The tiny country, the number of international visitors, which one?
I think the number.
The number? Are you sure?
Mhm. Tiny country. No, no, the tiny country.
The tiny country,
Yes,
yeah, the tiny
yes.
country is occupying a small portion of the island of Borneo. So we drop here,
Letter B.
yeah. So we drop letter B and just letter E because it's an international tourist.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now let's continue. Then we have here when the numbers attracted by its famously pristine rainforest. Okay. This is really difficult. Look at this.
Mhm.
Occupying a small portion of the island of Borneo, the tiny country of Brunei had been having a low number of international visitors until 2017, when the numbers attracted by its famously pristine rainforest increased by 20%. The numbers attracted? What do you think? I
No.
mean, when you say the numbers attracted, it means that the numbers were attracted by its famously pristine. And this is not true.
Okay. I didn't understand what was trying to say the that part. Yes.
Yes, when the numbers, imagine that we're talking about, okay, occupying a small portion of the island of Borneo, the tiny country, had been having a low number of international visitors until 2017.
Mhm.
And when the numbers attracted, because they are attracted, the numbers are attracted or were attracted in this case, but they were not
Uh,
attracted. Who were attracted, Catherine?
the visitors.
The visitors. Okay, so this is
Yes.
why this is not correct. The visitors.
Mm,
So when the numbers attracted, nope, incorrect, because they were not attracted. Who were attracted?
mhm.
The visitors. Again here. And the
Uh,
answer is letter C. You know, the tiny country for Brunei in 2017, a 20% increase in the previous low number of international visitors. That is the answer.
mm, okay. Wow.
Yep.
Can you explain me, please,
Now,
the?
can you explain to me what?
I'm sorry. Can you explain to me the had been having? Why?
Had been haven't.
Yes.
Okay, focus. I was about to explain that, I guess.
Okay.
Attracted, wait a minute, international visit. No, 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 I didn't do that. Okay, focus on this part. It says the tiny country of Brunei Darussalam had been having a low number of international visitors. Remember, when you use the past perfect progressive, the past perfect progressive in this case needs another action
Mhm.
that are supposed or were supposed to be in progress. You see?
Mm, okay.
And this is correct because look at this. Occupying a small portion of the island of Borneo, the tiny country had been experiencing. Did you understand? Had been experiencing. In this case, had been having doesn't mean have. It has a different meaning. Like, for example, I am having a game with my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm experiencing a game. I'm having a great situation. In this case, the verb have is dynamic. So
Okay.
it can be used in the gerund form, in the fifth form, ¿vale?
Yes.
And it is okay because it says the tiny country of Netherlands had been having a low number of international visitors until 2017. So they were experiencing that situation until 2017. So this is why I choose a past perfect progressive.
Mm. And
What do you
could
mean?
but could I say, for example, um, was having until it would be correct to use past simple past
As I
continuous with
said before,
until.
no, but as I said before, we need two actions.
Mm,
Remember, the past perfect progressive doesn't work alone.
mhm.
So this is why I didn't choose maybe, where is it? This one. Because where is the other action that is happening or that is in progress or what was in progress? We don't have one. Here in letter C,
Mm,
we need another action. As I said before, for example, when we use past progressive, we need past simple. When we have past perfect, we need past simple. When we have past progressive, we can have past progressive or past simple. You see, in the past perfect progressive, we need another action. Because remember,
okay.
just past perfect is an action that happened before another action. If you just say, for example, I have played soccer or I have been playing soccer, I need more information.
Mhm.
It's not enough. Okay? So for example,
Okay.
I had been having, but where's the other action?
Okay.
We don't
I
have it.
understood.
Now you
Yes.
got it. You see, we need
Yes.
two sentences. Okay?
Okay.
So this is
Thank
why this is perfect. Letter C is perfect.
you. Yes.
Any questions up to this point?
No, teacher.
I guess we go, well, this one. Dun, dun, dun. What else can I explain here? I just realized that sometimes you have words like your question was, can I use past progressive with the word until, right? For
Yes.
example, I was playing soccer until you do something. That was your
Mhm.
question.
Yes.
Remember, when you use past simple, sorry, past progressive, you need to give me a point in the past. For
Okay.
example, at 3 p.m. yesterday, Carlos, but you say yesterday, why did I use past simple? Because you can also use the past progressive with a point in the past, you see? So, for example, you say until 6 p.m. I was playing soccer. This action was in progress until 6 p.m.
Mhm.
So you can use past progressive with the word until.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Yes,
Or
teacher.
do you want me to, for example, this is like 2 p.m. I'm sorry. And for example, I was playing soccer. This action was in progress until
Mhm.
2 p.m. I was talking about an action that was in progress in the past.
Okay.
It is appropriate to say until. Did
Okay.
you understand? Yep.
Yes, teacher.
This is why this is correct. Until 2017, it means that this action was in progress, and we were talking about action in progress in the past. But we need
Okay.
another action. We cannot only use just one sentence, but also we need an extra information. Extra
Okay.
information. Sorry. Any
Okay.
questions?
No, teacher.
Well, in this part, for examples, there are some words that
Mhm.
are sometimes difficult to understand. For example, the word continually, continuously, and constantly. Do you know how to use those words? Continually,
Uh,
continuously, and constantly.
Constantly, I think it's it's a synonym for always.
Give an example.
Um, I constantly, no, I am constantly having headaches.
And constantly having headaches. Okay, well, you are right,
Mhm.
but focus on this part. We use the present simple when we want to talk about routines or habits. When we want to talk about
Yes.
routines or habits, present simple. And we can maybe we can use frequency, other frequency, especially when we use the present simple. Always, never, sometimes, usually, hardly ever, seldom, right?
Mhm.
Yes, that's true. And then we have the present progressive, the present progressive. And we use the present progressive when we want to talk about routines or habits too.
Mhm.
Okay? But what is the difference? That we use it when we talk about a routine or a habit that is annoying.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and we used to say you are playing soccer on the weekends. No, we add an extra word which is constantly, forever, and always.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just when you are complaining. For example, you say, Carlos, who is your father? Tell me more about your father. Well, my father smokes every day. It's a routine. It's his routine. But then I am talking to my dad, and then, Carlos, why is your room so smelly? And then I say, why did you say that? You are always smoking here in the house. You are always because I'm complaining. So you can say you are constantly, you are forever smoking in the bedroom in your house. You see? In just
Yes.
in this case, constantly is similar to always. Okay? When you
Okay.
are complaining, in this case, when you say I am always having headaches, it means that you are complaining. But
Yes.
how do you complain about a habit? Because that is not a habit. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
say I am constantly having headaches because it is not a habit, or is that a habit? What do you
No,
think?
it's not. It's not. It's just
It's
a
not a habit.
condition.
It's a
Yes.
condition. It's a
Yes.
condition. So you say, I always have headaches. Okay. I
Okay.
always have headaches because have is in this case is, I know it could be dynamic because it seems to me that it means experience, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when you say experience a good situation, games, things like that. So in this case, constantly means always and often when you are complaining about an annoying habit. You see?
Okay.
And then we have continually and continuously.
Yes.
What the difference?
I don't know.
Okay. For example, continually means it is a repeated action, but it has intervals or interruptions.
Mm-hmm.
For example, my platform is continually being updated. For example, I updated my platform 3 months ago, 2 days ago, 1 hour ago. There are intervals, okay? And for example, I am continuously speaking to you for 4 minutes. I didn't stop, no intervals, no pauses.
Okay.
Okay? So for example, you say, hey, turn on the TV. The TV is continuously on. You see?
Okay. Yes.
You can watch, you can, for example, I am happy with my son because he is continually watching TV. It means that there are pauses or intervals. So
Okay.
that is the difference. So, for example, those three words sometimes they show up or they are in the exam, and you need to understand the difference between these two words. Okay?
Okay. Thank
Eh,
you.
yeah, you will find those word. You will find those word here. Do you see my? Well, can you
Yes,
see
I
mine?
can see.
Yes. And okay, next part. I guess we have more. Oh, I really like this exercise, to be
Mhm.
honest. This
Okay.
one, this one, it's pretty. It is like, I guess this was made for teachers.
Hmm.
Despite smartphones and easy accessibility for social networks, almost half of the millennials, people reaching young adults in the 20th century, are feeling isolated and lonely. So before we start doing this part, let's
Hmm.
analyze grammar. Okay, let's
Okay.
analyze
Okay.
grammar. So for
Okay.
example, we have accessibility, accessibility, accessing. Okay.
Yes.
Display the smartphone and its accessibility for social networks. I'll have okay. In the English language, we have the verb access. You
Hmm.
accessed to something. To
Okay.
something. For example, in this class, you have access to resources. We have access to water. We have access to social media. Access to.
Access
Okay.
to.
But
Okay.
you say, I want to give access maybe for somebody to do something.
Okay.
Access for somebody to do something. In this case, we have, for example, in letter this one, access to. Access to social networks, is that correct? Do you have access to social networks?
Yes.
Nope, because you have access to do something.
Ah, you're right.
Again, for example, despite smartphones and easy accessibility for social network, that could be accessibility for something.
Mm-hmm.
Then, although having a smartphone and accessing social, despite them using a smartphone and easily accessing, they would be access for social networks. Access to social networks. I don't think so.
And the correct pattern is the verb access to something.
Access to something. Okay,
Access
I
to
want to
something.
have access to something.
Okay.
Look at this. Accessibility. For example, if you have internet, you have
Mm-hmm.
access or you have accessibility to social network.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
it's for somebody to do something. Did you
Well,
understand?
yes. When it is a noun, we have
For
another pattern.
we have another pattern.
Ah, okay. Okay.
There are two patterns.
Yeah.
Accessibility for, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
Next, look at this. Accessibility for social network. No accessibility to social network.
Mm.
Next, accessing social network. And then we have despite them and despite there. Well, before I drop this part, although having a smartphone, is that correct for you?
Although having,
Although
I
having a
I
smart,
know that although goes with subject and verb.
yeah, this is incorrect because we can never use the gerund after although. Yeah, but we have here them they're using smartphones. Then using smartphones, they're using their smartphones. Which one is correct?
I think letter C
Letter C, despite them. Yep, that's correct
because we
too.
need the subject and
We need
there
the
is
subject.
possession. Yes.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I'm going to show you the answer. So this is the answer because we have despite them and despite. This is called um, gerund possessive. Gerund
Ah.
possessive. Gerund possessive. We have I saw him
Mhm.
playing. Why do
Ah,
I
okay.
say I saw him playing? Because I focus on the person. But when I say I hate his singing, because I don't hate the person, I hate the way that he sings.
Ah,
For
okay.
example, I love your speaking or I love you speaking. When I say I love your speaking, it means that I love you when you speak. But when I say I love your speaking, it means that I don't love you. I love the words that you say.
Where's that you say? Ah, okay.
In
Yes.
this case,
Yes.
despite them using smartphones, is maybe the German version of despite the fact that they were using smartphones or they are using smartphones. But where do we have that information? Here. Despite smartphone and easy accessibility for social networks, people, okay, they use a smartphone, so this is not appropriate.
Yes.
Okay, or it would be despite the smartphones making no despite
Mhm.
the fact that their smartphones making access, but this is not correct too.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun. Yeah, this is okay. Let's go with this one. That's tricky. Okay, that's
Wow.
tricky.
Y está completa. Yes. Yes. It's
Yeah,
complete.
it says Jane Austen has firmly joined Shakespeare, not just, look at this, not just as a canonical figure, but also as a symbol of literature itself. The hazel-eyed woman in the mob cap as iconic now as the balding man in the blade. So look at first, analyze not just and, but also. So
Okay.
let's go, not just, but also. The Shakespeare we don't have here. Okay, no, 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 no. Are not only but. Not only but incorrect. Not only but letter D is incorrect. I don't need to read or analyze letter D because it says not only but. And you say
But
not only but
but
also,
also.
not just but also.
Okay.
Okay. What
Okay.
else? For example, look at this. Jane Austen is affirmed a canonical figure as a symbol of literature itself, like Shakespeare. Am I
Uh,
comparing? Am I
yes.
comparing? Sure. Am I
Jane Austen
comparing?
I as a symbol of literature like Shakespeare. I don't know. I don't know.
Who is as a symbol of literature itself? It says Jane
Jane
Austen is
Jane
affirmed
Austen.
a canonical figure as a symbol of literature itself, like Shakespeare. Am I comparing?
Maybe I don't understand the meaning. Can you help me, please?
Okay. Okay. Canonical, for example, when I read a book, okay, I read a book, it has a story, okay, it has a story, la 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 la. But when I watch the movie is totally different. So the movie is not canonical.
Ah,
Okay? This is the first minute. This is the first minute. Okay? Then we have Jane Austen is affirmed a canonical figure. She is supposed to be another symbol of literature itself. She is a symbol. She is
mm-hmm.
canonical symbol.
Okay.
Let's okay, little by little. I know it's tricky to understand this part.
Yes,
Again,
it's a
Jane
little
Austen
tricky.
is affirmed a canonical figure as a symbol of literature itself, like Shakespeare. I don't want to compare. So this is incorrect because I don't want to compare. If I, remember, when you want to give an instant of something, you say such as.
I thought that we were comparing Jane Austen with with Shakespeare.
With
Okay.
Shakespeare,
Yes,
okay, but
I
this is
thought.
not correct. This is not
Okay.
correct because this is not the meaning of the sentence. Let's analyze another one. But it could be. But to be honest, remember, like, compare, such as, give
An
one
example.
or two or three examples. This is
Okay.
the way we use such and like. But let's go with another one. For me, this is not correct because we have like. What about this?
Jane Austen and Shakespeare, Bollyman, have joined together.
It
But
says, have firmly joined together.
but they are dead.
Exactly. It
Yes.
means in the present. This is not correct.
Yes.
Another one. What about this? Jane is as iconic as Shakespeare. The hazel-eyed
Uh,
woman in the mob cap and the balding man in the doublet are not only fairly, but not only but is not correct because we say not only but also.
yes.
Next, Jane Austen has fairly joined Shakespeare, not only as
Mm-mm.
a canonical figure but also as a symbol of literature. The hazel woman has been becoming, but she
Mm-mm.
became.
Yes.
So this is not correct because it means that she now in the present is becoming, but that's not true. It was in the past.
Yes.
This is not correct. So let's analyze letter A. Has
Okay.
fairly joined Shakespeare, maybe recently, not just as a canonical figure, but also as a symbol of literature. The hazel in the mocap as iconic now as the balding man in a doublet. Now that's perfect.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It
Here,
makes
sometimes
sense.
maybe the most difficult part here is just not the grammar or analyzing maybe the subject verb agreement are the words.
Yes. Yes.
And sometimes you will come across this structure, and I guess that makes difficult to understand. Where is it?
Mhm.
Let me show you. I will copy some sentences here. Mm, 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 mm. Have you heard about misplaced modifiers?
Yes.
Okay, for example, we have them in the present or in, I mean, I will give you some sentences here. It says, wanting to take a nap, the light was so irritating.
Mm, yes.
You will
It's
find this.
incorrect.
This is not correct. What is the answer?
Yes. Uh, Someone was irritated because of the light.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wanting to take a nap, I found the light so irritating. So this grammar is also found in this test. So I suggest that you
Mhm.
check misplaced modifiers and also for example when you have the fact that I'm not sure if I show you an example with the fact that
No.
and where is it? Dun 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 dun. Are they here? No, they're not here. When we have the fact that in the prompt here,
Mhm.
you try to omit it, and
Ah,
it's important that you know how to use the fact that I'm gonna show you because
okay.
we have 10 minutes. Dun 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 dun. Can you see my? Oh wait a minute. Okay, presentation here. Yes, sir. And check this. This is misplaced modifiers. And the second topic can be
Estoy,
fact.
estoy viendo occupying a small portion of
Ah,
the
okay, okay, okay. I will share the screen again. Mm, 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 mm. Can you see my screen? Yep.
Yes. Now I can see your screen.
Okay, well, we use the fact that, I mean, the fact that
Mhm.
because we don't want to use that. Okay?
Mhm.
So, for example, when do we use the fact that? Do you know?
No.
Okay, we use the fact that when the noun clause is the subject. For example, you say the fact that you are not a member of this club makes no difference. You see?
Okay. Okay.
Or the fact that he didn't say no immediately is a good sign. Oh, when the noun clause is the subject. The noun clause is the subject. For example, look at this. I will write a sentence. And she is my sister. She's my sister, makes me cry. So she is my sister, makes me cry. So this makes me cry, right?
Yes.
This makes me cry. So I add the fact that she is
Okay.
my sister makes me cry. I mean, this is situation. She is my sister. So the fact that she is my sister makes me
Mhm.
cry. You see,
Okay. Okay.
this is the
Yes.
first one. This is the first one. Um, are after a preposition or some phrases. For example, apart from that, you say apart from that, right?
Yes.
Apart from that, but you say apart from the fact that I don't know, given given that,
Yes.
given the fact that in spite of the fact that what else? Regardless of the fact that these are words that we always use with the fact that regardless of the fact that what else owing to owing to the fact that for example you say I didn't go to the party because
Mhm.
of the rain or because of the fact that it was raining due to the fact that you never say due to it was raining. It's impossible. There is a list of phrases that we need to use with the fact that, apart from the fact that, given the fact that, in spite of the fact that, regardless of the fact that, owing to the fact that, in view of the fact that too, in view.
And we do that because, for example, owing to, I think it's a preposition. And when we add the fact that, we can create a sentence,
A clause, that's true.
a clause.
A
Okay.
clause. Due to, owing to, because of the rain, owing to the rain, due to the rain. But if you want to give a clause, you say owing to the fact that, due to the fact that, because of the fact that.
Okay. Yes.
And regardless of something, or regardless of the fact that. You never say
Ah,
regardless of playing soccer, regardless of verb plus ing. No, verb plus ing, that's not appropriate. You always use the fact that. Okay?
ah, I
And tell me.
always I always have to add the fact that after, apart from, given, in spite of, to
In
create
spite
a
of the fact that
clause.
when you give a sentence,
Yes, when I
when
give
you
a
give a
sentence.
sentence, because in spite of and despite, they can be followed by the gerund, by the noun,
Mm-hmm.
and by a sentence, just if you use the fact that. Okay?
Okay.
And the fact that is also followed by some verbs. For example, change. Change. It doesn't change the fact that. Oh, I will write. Change the fact that. Um, face the fact that. You never say, I face that. No, I face the fact that. Ignore that. Ignore the fact that. What else? Overlook. And then you need to memorize a list of verbs that are followed by the fact that.
The fact
This
that.
is what you are
Okay.
supposed to do.
Okay.
And in this exam, for example, this is pretty common. The fact that she is my sister's makes me cry. And you need to drop this part. She makes me cry. And then you need to analyze. This
The
is
fact.
what you wanted to do, or you want to focus more on different things?
No, yes, this is what I wanted. I wanted um, to understand the meaning and to analyze the different structures that they are testing you.
Yeah, as you see in the exam, after teaching this course, the exam is not difficult. You just need to focus on maybe words like, okay, not just and not only, but also. But then you see not and but. That's not correct. And you drop the sentence, drop the sentence. It doesn't make sense sometimes to analyze structures that are not correct.
Yes.
You see, for example, I didn't spend time maybe reading the whole prompt because the prompt is incorrect. You see,
Yes.
you need to focus on the answers. So my piece of advice for you is, first of all, read the answers and then analyze the answers. Then after checking mistakes, you say the subject, the verb. After that, you can check the meaning. You can check the meaning.
Yes.
And that's all the process. I guess that syntax grammar can be what you are looking for. I mean, maybe analyze a paragraph with a word, but it has to do with the meaning, with vocabulary. It is not
Sí.
about grammar. And in this part, for example, I guess for you, the most difficult part was to understand the word canonical, or, for example, this is pretty easy to understand. But the second one or the third one, okay. For if I speak in Spanish, if you
Ujú.
speak in Spanish, you got it. Mira, ocupando una pequeña porción de la isla de Borneo, el pequeño país de Brunei y Darussalam habían estado experimentando un bajo número de visitantes internacionales hasta el 2017, cuando los números atraídos por su famoso bosque. Pero ¿cómo los números van a ser atraídos? No pueden ser atraídos. Entonces, está mal, no puede ser the numbers, así que tiene que ser otra cosa. ¿Quiénes fueron atraídos por el rainforest? El número de turistas. Entonces lo cambio. Vamos a leer el siguiente. The tiny country of Netherlands had been having a low number of international until when the numbers attract. ¿Cómo los números van a ser atraídos? Ya de frente está mal. La siguiente, o sea, te salteas. El número de visitantes internacionales al pequeño país estaba bajo hasta el 2017 cuando comenzaron a atraer, a ver, mira aquí, vamos a quitarle eso. Mira aquí, cuando ellos empezaron a ser atraídos, ¿cómo los números van a empezar a ser atraídos? No se puede. Aquí, por ejemplo, dice que los turistas fueran atraídos por su famoso pristine rainforest. Ya está. Aquí, mira, la D dice, el pequeño país de Naná incrementó el número de visitantes internacionales. Es imposible. Ellos pueden incrementar el número de hoteles, incrementar el número de casas, incrementar el número de lugares, pero no pueden incrementar el número de visitantes. No sé si me dejo entender. Es por eso que aquí dice increase its number. Por eso está mal esta. Si tú lo ves en español, es más fácil.
Sí.
¿Vale? Dice, incrementó su número de visitantes en un 20% en el 2017, llevando, mira, leading to como consecuencia, causa y efecto, llevando o teniendo como consecuencia una atracción por su famoso rainforest. Pero no es cierto. Lo que incrementó el número fue el rainforest. Y es por eso que está mal.
Tienes razón.
Aquí también dice el número de visitantes, dice, the international tourists visiting, los visitantes que están visitando este pequeño país, incrementó su previously low number by 20%. ¿Qué incrementó? Eso no incrementaron nada, lo que incrementó fue el rainforest. Entonces, ¿eso es a lo que tú te referías? ¿Querías así, tipo, analizar esto?
Sí, y no solamente ir descartando, porque se enseña que uno tiene que ir viendo las respuestas. Lo que yo estudio esto más que nada porque quiero poder enseñar escritura, por eso, cuando yo haga clases. Entonces, por eso la idea mía era ir analizando. Por ejemplo, en la E, después de la comita, dice owing to their
Ah,
attraction. Ya habíamos visto
La
en la
D,
E, en la E,
la E.
en
A
la
ver,
E,
dice, owing to their attractions to, it's famous. Owing to their attraction. Vale, el owing to puede ir con un sustantivo, puede ir con una
claro.
oración, pero para que vaya la oración tiene que ir el the fact that.
Claro. Entonces, yo lo que en el fondo me gustó la clase porque fuimos analizando, pero también no solamente irnos en el not only but also, sino que por qué hay un presente perfecto, qué quiere decir, cosas así para yo poder en el fondo enseñar a escribir,
Ok.
más que para dar este examen. Yo no quiero dar este examen, yo lo que quiero es,
Ok.
ese es mi fin. Cuando yo lea algo de un chico que algo que escriba, yo poder decirle, mira, esto no está correcto porque me estás diciendo otra cosa. Por eso quería estudiar esta parte específica.
Ok, give me a second.
Por ejemplo,
Mm,
estuve viendo unos ejercicios y me aparecía la conjunción as y, y yo
as
dije,
in
ya,
far.
claro,
As in
por
far.
ejemplo, as, la conjunción as.
Ok, como since.
Claro, entonces decía, a medida que, pero uno puede usarla con un subjuntivo o con un indicativo. Entonces yo ahí decía, ¿cómo en el fondo, cómo digo las cosas al final? ¿Cómo lo utilizo? Y esas son las dudas que tengo. Por ejemplo, decía, the professor predice que as students become more and more dependent on coaching classes in the coming years, coma. Entonces yo lo busqué. A medida que los estudiantes se vuelven más dependientes en el futuro o a medida que los estudiantes se vuelvan. Y se supone que,
Se vuelve.
claro, pero usé el chat GPT y me lo colocó con se vuelvan. Y después decía en un futuro.
Lo que pasa es que cuando tú quieres hablar de un futuro y tienes un until, un while, un when, un before, un after, toda la vida van a ir con presente simple.
Y eso se queda indicativo o subjuntivo.
Cuando tú lo traduces, es que es como, por ejemplo, te doy una oración en pasado. Yo tuve un carro, mira, yo tuve un carro. I had a car. Pero cuando ya le pongo el if, ese tuve se transforma en tuviese. If I
Ujú.
had a car, tuviese. Lo mismo pasa con el presente. Dices, I have a car, yo tengo un carro. When I have a car, cuando tenga un carro. El while también, while I study, mientras estudie, no es mientras yo estudio. Entonces, eso es lo que tú te refieres en esto, por eso yo dije, cuando vuelvan, es un futuro, pero tienen que ir en presente.
Ujú, claro.
Y eso de allí, eso de allí no es que deberías de estudiarlo con esto. Si tú quieres exactamente el uso de cada palabra, por ejemplo, ahorita te enseñé el uso del da facta. Ya sabes que el da
Ujú,
facta va seguido de ciertos verbos.
ujú.
Entonces también necesitarías aprender, por ejemplo, el interesting to con el interesting in. Lo que tú quieres aprender es el uso correcto de cada verbo, de cada preposición. Por ejemplo, el interesting to, ¿cuál es la diferencia entre decir I am interested in listening to you or interested to listen to you? Bueno, la respuesta correcta es interested to listen. ¿Por qué? Porque luego de verbos de sentido y de conocimiento como leer, listen, hear, see, va el interesting to. Pero cuando tú demuestras que te gustaría hacer algo, es interesting in. Lo mismo ocurre, por ejemplo, con el afraid to y el afraid of. El afraid to es que tienes miedo a hacer algo, pero el afraid of es que tú tienes miedo de que algo malo pase. Ah,
Ah,
entonces, lo que tú quieres aprender no es más que todo, o sea, para poder crear oraciones, lo que tú quieres es más que todo aprender a usar las palabras.
exactamente, exactamente. Eso es, porque cuando leo en inglés no, no sé a lo que estoy yendo, no sé qué es lo que quiere decir realmente. Y ahí utilizo ChatGPT y ChatGPT no es muy, no, tiende a equivocarse.
Mm, mira, yo te puedo dar una lista de temarios de nivel C2
Ya,
que estoy llevando, ¿ok? De nivel C2, como por ejemplo, cómo usar cierta palabra.
ya,
Lo que te acabo de enseñar, continually y constantly, por ejemplo, tú buscas eso en el diccionario y sale continuamente. Pero
ya.
¿cómo lo usas? Entonces tú tienes que analizar. Si es que hay pausas, es continually. Si es que no hay pausa, es continuously. Y si me estoy quejando, es constantly. Entonces tú no le puedes decir a tu amigo, you are continually buying clothes, porque te estás quejando. Tendrías que usar constantly. Entonces, lo
Ah,
que tú quieres, según mi parecer, antes de
ujú.
que, porque para que tenga sentido, tú tendrías que primero aprender a usar las palabras,
Eso es.
usar esas cositas, para que después recién vengas aquí y me digas, por ejemplo, when the numbers attracted, aquí no necesito gramática para saber por qué va la coma, sino que él dice, cuando los números, ¿ok? Los cuales fueron atraídos por, o sea, tú ya tienes que ir captando el concepto. Esto, por
Sí,
ejemplo, no, yo lo podría hacer una omisión de cláusulas relativas
claro, una reducción.
pero le he quitado. Entonces, podría ser eso. Yo te podría mandar un temario de temas de nivel C2 y de nivel C1 por allí. Tú me
Ujú.
dices, profe, yo me sé esto, profe, yo me sé esto, profe, yo me sé esto, evalúame esto. Y luego puedes
Ya,
dar un texto complejo utilizando esas estructuras.
por favor, eso necesito, porque la gramática me la sé, pero cuando es el uso.
Ya,
Sí,
mira, entonces
sí,
te
sí,
voy a
sí.
mandar una lista de temarios. Pueden ser unos 150 temarios que son, que considero yo que sabes 150 y llegas a C1, C2. Son
Perfecto,
150 temas los que yo tengo en
perfecto,
mi curso. Tú me dices, profe, quiero en una clase y yo te los enseño a usarlos,
perfecto, perfecto.
¿vale? Te mando
Ya,
ahora más tarde, ahorita voy a entrar a una sesión y me
ya.
dices qué temas quieres y qué temas tú, según tú ya lo sabes. Si tú ya lo sabes, te mando un test y yo no te lo explico en clase. ¿Te parece?
Perfecto, perfecto,
Bien.
profesor.
Ok,
Muchas
Kat,
gracias,
quedar aquí.
muchas gracias.
Te envío tu sesión y estamos pendientes para los 150 temitas que se supone que deberías saber para llegar a C2, ¿vale?
Perfecto, muchas gracias.
So that would be all. Bye bye. Take care.
Take care.
Bye bye.